Peaceful greetings and welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to come and do a quick video and let you guys know that when it comes to the chosen ones and the high vibrational beings coming into union with their significant others, there are going to be a lot of what is considered karmics. There are going to be a lot of what would be considered demons. And there are going to be a lot of what some people would call false flames that are going to come in to kind of pursue you or attempt to get you to get with them so that you don't get with your intended and true counterpart. Okay, this is highly important. I did a video before that says if you fall for the karmic, then it proves and it is showing true that you are not ready for your divine counterpart, okay? Because you fell for a karmic, which means that you're still vibrating at a level that would allow for you to actually not only attract, but still be like fooled, if you will, by that type of entity energy to be in a relationship with them. Okay, so just falling for that denotes that you're not ready because your spiritual attunement, your intuition, and your discernment is still off. And you might have to go through another round until you're actually ready to get into your divine union. Okay? And so anyways, with this video, I want to go over some of my own experiences, and with those experiences, show you guys and use them as teachable moments so that I can help you guys to know how to identify the tactics of the adversarial forces that do not want these unions to take place. So what is happening too that I want to make sure that I actually let you guys know is that not only are they sitting in these karmic relationships or whatever, false flames and everything, but they're also attempting to do things to hold up the actual true partner from actually being able to meet the intended divine union. What you want to call it? What do other people call it? They call it something. Anyways, it's on the tip of my tongue. But the point is that they attempt to do not only like magic, but they tend to do things in like having people maybe come to speak to you, to hold you up so that they can orchestrate when and like your movements. Like if you were going to go to the grocery store at a particular time, they might have somebody hold you up so your divine counterpart is there and they would have met you at that time. But because somebody came from the adversarial forces to hold you up, then you didn't make it to that place in that same time that you would have. And then you guys missed that encounter and that interaction that you would have authentically originally had with your divine counterpart. So these people actually, these witches, warlocks, and, demons, whatever you want to call them, archons, princes of darkness, principalities, whatever, they know who your divine counterpart is. Okay, we got monitoring spirits over here. So they know who it is, right? And so what they have been doing is attempting to those meetings and those encounters and those places that you would have actually met that individual. they are purposefully making people miss those time, what would be considered divine appointments, if you will, divine encounters, and they are purposefully attempting to have us miss those, right, where we would meet our counterpart. But the devil is a lie today, tomorrow, and always. So we are burning all of those tactics. We are burning all of those obstructions, tampering, delays, obstacles. We're burning all of that with 9 ether fire. Okay, immediately. We burning all of that. And we see with our intention, our intuition, and our discernment that the tactics of these adversarial forces and what they are attempting to do. Okay? Now, with that, be open to love. Be in the right energy, frequency, and vibration, because that's another way that they're coming at divine unions, is by attempting to come at both parties and get them in a mismatch of frequency alignment, so that they, like, one might be up and the other one they pull down, and then like vice versa. So it's like a teeter-totter, right? So that they're not in alignment. Okay, so we're gonna burn that with 9 ether fire as well, because the devil is a lie. Okay, the divine unions of chosen ones, high vibrational beings, star seeds, star blossoms, all of the indigos, all of these beautiful unions that are destined to happen will still happen. Okay, they are still going to happen. Okay, so anyways, what I wanted to come and say is how that these beings have orchestrated certain things to actually attempt to, like, basically play God. Okay, they try to play God and make sure that these divine unions that are going to be super powerful, they're attempting to make sure that they don't happen. But like I said, the devil is a lie. So in one of the encounters that I had, right, I had written in somebody's comments on a YouTube channel about how this individual came into a grocery store that I was at, and I was talking to an elderly woman, and we were having a great, heartfelt conversation. It was a beautiful conversation, and this individual kept passing by in the vicinity, but not just passing by, attempting to call my attention to them. It's kind of hard to explain. They were passing by, but wanting me to focus on them, wanting me to notice them. I'm an empath, so I know the vibes, I know the energy, I know the intention behind the energy, right? And so, anyways, the guy was very handsome, right? But when I actually was around him a little bit more, I seen that it was definitely a glamored handsome. So it wasn't just his normal essence and glow. This was like magic. I cannot make this up. And if anybody has ever been aware enough spiritually to know the difference of somebody's authentic glow, right? Some people, they authentically glow, right? They have that. And then others, they use a form of glamour magic to make themselves glow, but it's a false light. it's a false glow, but it's a false light, and they're projecting this false light because they're actually like dark in an evil, wicked way, not dark in a, universal kind of spirituality, like triple darkness, yeah, not like that. They're in the dark, like in the evilness, right? So anyways, when I got finished speaking to this woman, I went about doing the rest of my shopping, and once I got finished, the guy went in line right in front of me. I was like, because I was like, how do I explain this? I was going to the line and he made it there before me. Okay, it's not like he didn't cut in front of me. So he's in line, I'm right behind him, and there was a woman that was in between us, and she actually went and stood a little bit closer to him, so it almost made it seem like they were a couple, right? And so I was like, okay, like I really didn't care, I'm just getting my groceries, right? And so what was interesting and kind of strange is he skipped over asking her and asked me if I would like to go in front of him. And I was like, okay, because I realized that wasn't his woman. So now I knew that this woman, I think I have one of the Tigre's hairs on my lip. Anyways, I knew that that this woman was not his woman, but he's not asking her, who's like directly behind him, to go in front of him. He asked me. And so I'm like, at first, no, I'm okay. And so he was insisting. So I felt like he had a plan, which he did. Okay. So I go in front of him, and he did, like, I guess the kind of like more respectful thing, which was to ask her if she wanted to go, and she said no, and she just stayed behind him, right? So as I get, my stuff rung up, then he was like, oh, I'll pay for your groceries. And I was like, no, that's okay. And he was like, yeah, I'll pay for your groceries. And is there anything else that you could think of that you might want? And I was like, no, not really, not off the top of my head. And so he was like, well, think about it, and whatever you want, I'll go run in, I'll get it. And so I was like, okay. And so I was like, coconut water, And so he went, and he didn't just, and I said an avocado. And then, so he didn't just run and get one coconut water, he brought back two. And anyway, so he paid for my groceries, and then he actually helped me put the bags away or whatever for me. And so my bags of groceries. And so then I had went over there on the bus or whatever. And so he ends up like leaving his groceries at the cash register after he paid for them. And he rolled me to the bus. And he ended up staying over there and talking with me. And okay, so that being said, he goes back before the grocery store closes, gets his groceries, and comes back. Well, he puts his groceries in the car, and then he comes back, and he's talking to me. Now, where I want to hone in on is that the time frame that this happened was very close to what would be a full moon. Okay, number one. And it was a very specific one, and I'll get into that in a second. But the other thing that I want to hone in on is that he, as I would talk and say something to answer a question or to just be in the flow of conversation, he started to do prayers, right? And he was moving his mouth, but words were not like coming out, like he wasn't making it auditory. So I asked him, what was he praying? Like, what were the prayers that he was actually saying? And he kind of tried to gaslight me. He didn't want to say like what the prayers were. And I was like, okay, that's a red flag. Okay. And then he did this very interesting movement or whatever with his hands. And I was like, I peeped that. He did two different, very, very interesting movements with his hands. Okay? Yeah, we know with that. So spiritually and intuitionally, I was like, asking him questions about the hand movements that he had done. Because I was like, my intuition was like, this is spell work, and this is not like good spell work. Like this is some like wicked, evil stuff, right? And so it ended up that it actually was. And so, anyways, getting back to the comment that I left, not only did this guy end up paying for my groceries, right? He ended up, pulling out a stack of money. And when he had handed me my grocery sack before he had helped me put them away, like, he had put a stack of money underneath the bag so that when I went to go put my hand under the bag, that the like when I put my hand under the bag, the money was there, right, in my hand, right? And so, anyways, the point is that he paid for my groceries. You would think that all of this is very chivalrous. All of this is very kind, right? But the problem with it is the time frame, and then the glamoring of oneself, and then the prayers and the hand movements that were done in a way that were like attempting to spell cast, or what's the word I want to use? Like they intuitionally, they were to cause like some kind of harm, or being done like you would do, or someone would do, like to cause someone something if they were like utilizing a voodoo doll or whatever. So I asked him specific questions about if he was a warlock. I asked him specific questions of if he was on the righteous, holy, and pure side. Was he religious? What was like, like trying to fill out what the background was, and like, he wasn't like giving me very definitive answers to the question or to the questions. So before, like, one bus came, and I ended up not getting on the first bus that came, and I ended up getting on the second one that came. And by that time, I had pretty much figured out that like it was definitely some spell work going on, right? And so it was good that I stayed, because I got the information that I needed, right? So when the second bus came, right, and as I'm leaving, and he's still there, I actually hurried and slipped, because I had said during our conversation, I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to keep this money, and I tried to give it back to him, and he wouldn't take it. So before I left and got on the bus, I slipped it back into his pocket, so it was not like me attempting to ask him to take it back or whatever. I just put it back on his body, like I put it back in his jacket pocket and slipped it back in his pocket, and then like rolled off. Okay. And so with those red flags and my intuition and everything going off with the different things, right? It was very telling that, this was not a kind of high vibrational kind of mashup. This was definitely something that was very demonically charged. It was very karmic in nature, and it was like the false flame being sent in type of thing, right? And it also was giving how do I say this? And there have been numerous that have been sent in that are in this same vein and kind of frequency, because they know that the real ones are coming in and coming into union, and so they want to distract, detour, and get the counterparts, the true ones, in relationships with other people, caught up in another cycle of nonsense with somebody else, so that they are not available for their true divine counterparts. Okay, so if I would have fell into that, then I wouldn't be still open and available for the true divine union. Okay, so I just wanted to come and do this quick video and let you guys know that these are the types of things that are going on. Okay, do not fall victim to these things. Be aware, be open to love, but use your discernment, see the red flags, and be aware. Okay, because numerous have been sent in, okay, with some of the same types of things, different bodies, different vessels. Like I said in another video, it's like the same demon, but in this case, they have used different demons. they try to upgrade, I'm still not falling for it. I see your ass.
So one of the things that the guy was doing to his hand was he was doing this motion like this, really digging in, he was putting something in the palm of his hand. And what was interesting about it, he was doing it really hard, to the point that in the conversation that we were having, he completely zoned out and was focused on this. And I asked him, are you putting it in or are you taking it out? But intuitionally, it was whatever he was doing, he was putting it in to the hand. And somebody tried to fuck with my throat chakra. They want me talking about this part. So it almost reminded me of, now I don't believe in Jesus and I'm not religious, but it reminded me of the nailing to the cross, where they put the nails in the hand, and as he was doing that, it looked like he's putting a screw or the original thought was the nail. Like, he's putting the nail in and he's like twisting it in. That's the intuitionally what I got. And that's why I asked him, are you putting it in or are you taking it out? But it seemed like he was putting it in. And he's digging. I'm talking about like with all his strength and might, he's doing this into his hand. But when he first started doing this, I had looked away because there was another two people that were sitting at the bus, but they were like trying to hide themselves behind an umbrella, and like they probably were doing drugs under there. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. But they also could have been what seemed to be, the 2 and 3 of, the power of 3, like witches and warlocks like to do things in 3. So there's 2 on one side of me and he's on the other side of me, right? And this was one of the things that he was doing. The other thing that he did is he was like cutting, like he was trying to bring his hand across the fingers, and he was doing that like really hard. Okay, so those were the very interesting things that this individual had done, and I just wanted to show you guys the actual hand movements and motions that I was talking about, because when I said what I said in the other video, it's a little bit more clear how these two hand movements were very, and could have, I wouldn't say they were disturbing to me, because intuitionally I knew what it was and what it was supposed to be meaning spiritually. However, it is like supposed to be disturbing, but regardless of being disturbing or not, like it is what it is, it isn't what it isn't. And the simple fact is that thankfully I have very good intuition and discernment, so that I seen those for red flags as I should have. So, excuse me, they're attempting to mess with my throat chakra. This guy actually found me in another area on another day, close to another full moon, and he, attempted to, offer to get me anything that I needed or I wanted. And in, the physical, it would just seem like a kind gesture. But if anybody knows anything about spirituality, I'm going to tell you what my alleged grandmother, Peggy Mumford, told me as a young child. Not all gifts are gifts. And so there is a actual video that I just recently saw where this man in the hood had like asked one of his uncles or something like that to like basically give him some wisdom, some game. And so his uncle actually describes this story, and I'll add that video in here. But he doesn't think that there was any like gems in the story that his uncle told him. And he's like, you don't see the gems in the story because you weren't paying attention, right? And so I'm going to let you guys listen to the story because it's very deep and it is very, very true. Not everyone that alleges that they're, your friend or helping you are actually there with pure intentions to actually help you. Sometimes they have hidden agendas, and it can be physical, or it also can be spiritual.
I'm on the west, right? I see my uncle. I ain't seen him in a minute, but he's some good game. I'm like, tell me something slick. He said, yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, little Doug, I'm gonna tell you about the story about the bird that flew south for the winter, man. He said the bird flies south, man, then they get cold in the mother. He freeze and fall into a field. I'm looking at him. He said, yeah, he fall into a field, man, and then a cow come in. The cow come on him, he get to warming up, he get to feeling himself again, he get to singing and a cat hear him. The cat hear him singing, he gets to investigating it. The cat find out it's a bird over here and he wiped the off him and eat his silly ass. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I wasn't sharp at all. He said, yeah, you wasn't paying attention, I dropped a few gems on you, man. I said, man, what you talking about? He said, man, everybody that on you ain't your enemy, man. And everybody that gets some shit up off you, they ain't your folks. And when you win some shit, sometimes the best thing to do is to just shut your mouth. I said, church.
And in this specific instance and with this individual, it was definitely very, very, it was actually both, because they were using physical things, right? And offers of you know, things that would seemingly be kind gestures, but they were utilizing those to do like destiny swap, to do karmic dumping, where, you know, they dump their karma in exchange for these gifts or items or kind gestures, so that they can basically transmute by giving to you their whatever negativity, evils, workings, or whatever that they have done. And a lot of times they need specific high vibrational beings to be able to do certain things spiritually. Okay. And so when you accept these things from them, right, then you can take on their karmic debt. You can actually, you know, be in a consent and in an agreement that you basically, it was like in contracts, it would be like an adhesion contract. It's a hidden contract that's attached to the gesture. It is a contract and consent that a lot of times people don't realize that they are actually given spiritually based off of what is going on in the physical, right? So something as simple as someone asking you for, do you have the time, or do you have, you know, some water? Do you have, you know, what, do you know where XYZ is? Now, when you say yes, they were not actually asking for whatever that was that they stated out of their mouth. They needed you to say yes because their spiritual agenda, their hidden agenda, was something evil, ill-willed, ill-intentioned, and diabolical, right? So they needed you to just be open with your energy, and also in saying yes, they have now secretly got you to consent to a hidden contract that they were actually, you know, thinking that they had already done spell work on, you know, the full moon or the new moon or whatever moon cycle it was at. And then they needed you to just say yes, right? And by that yes, you didn't know that they had all this other workings in the background, right? That you never knew that that was what you were opening yourself up to and consenting to. But that they knew. Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, they use very strategic and very how do you say, sneaky ways of getting people to consent to things that they would not consent to had they been had full disclosure or being fully informed of what they were consenting and agreeing to. Now, this happens in business. Like, this happens in real life business, that there are, you know, contractual agreements, and then they have addendums and like adhesion contracts that are attached to those, that the people that are going into contract with people, they don't have any awareness of the additional contracts that are attached to it. And unless you like read the fine print and you like thoroughly go through and you actually maybe even clearly state that you're not agreeing to any adhesion contracts, right? Most people don't realize in business or in spirituality these secretive attached consents and contracts. And so being versed in both, like, I see the parallels. So anyways, with this video, I just want everyone to this is not for fear mongering. The guy actually came back. He found me in another area on another day closer to the other full moon. And he like offered, like I said and stated before, he offered again to get me anything. I was like, no, I'm good. Okay. And it was very interesting because I was actually at the bus stop waiting for a bus in a very, very busy area. And he had rolled by, seen me. He pulled over in an area that you're not really supposed to park in. And, well, I mean, it's literally like, fire zone, like painted red curb or whatever. He pulled over into that area, like right past where the buses park to, pick people up and drop people off at the loading zone. And so he just jumped out of his Lexus and like literally just comes over there and starts talking to me. Security all over the place. They ain't saying nothing. Oh, you can't park there, nothing. Like in the hierarchy of demons, I was like, yeah, he's over all of these beings over here. So he definitely is like in the high ranking in the demonic, because nobody told him anything. He just jumped out. He came over there, started talking to me, and then he like after I was like, no, I'm okay, and he eventually took off or whatever. But this was not the only being, like I stated, that they have attempted to send in to make me think that they are my divine counterpart, my kingdom spouse, my twin flame. These are karmics that are attempting to basically keep me into a lower vibration, keep me into a existence that is not befitting of me living out my divine purpose. So it is definitely a tactic of the adversarial forces. And so as high vibrational beings, I'm just making this video for us to be aware, right, of the tactics and the things that they are absolutely using to orchestrate an failed attempt to keep us from partnering with our divine unions. Because if they can get you sidetracked with another karmic, then that just delays, right, your union, your true union. But let's say both of you guys get with karmics. Okay, well then both of you guys have to go through that lesson and then come back to the point. But why not just skip that and get in the actual divine union where you two can heal each other, and grow from there. I'm saying hold out for the real deal, and make sure that you're using your discernment and intuition so that you're not getting yourself back into. I personally am aware enough, and my intention is like nano laser focus. It's like on fleek, as they would say. Like it's all the way turned up. So I see these things very clearly. I see the spiritual and the physical very clearly. Okay, so when they're sending these beings in, I see them. So I know that they're not the correct union for me. Absolutely. I see all the red flags. I see all the things that aren't being said. Like when dude was praying and didn't want to tell me the prayer. I don't have to know the exact words, although sometimes I do. I feel the vibes, the energy, the frequency that it's putting out, and that doesn't lie. So when they're lying out of their mouth, or they got a smile on their face that doesn't match the energy, right? And sometimes they'll attempt to mirror your energy or project your energy back to you while their evil, diabolical energy is like cloaked. Baby, I see it. I feel it. Yeah, I mean, there's so much. And not only sometimes do they cloak their energy, right? A lot of times they do. You know, it's part of that, like wearing the mask or whatever. They also will project maybe like their negative energy on somebody else. So people will think that the attack or the ill intention, ill will, or whatever is coming from someone else, but it's actually coming from them. Or even like, energy vampirism as well. So anyways, I'm not gonna, as they say, run it up. If you need anything else from me, there's so many different like people that they've sent in more recently. And I would like to go into, all of those, because they do have like different tactics and things that they've used, and we will be using these as teachable moments. But I'll do those in other videos, okay? So if you need anything else from me, make sure that you check out the description. I have my 2 websites there. I have Nieve Tigre's new YouTube channel that is blowing up fast, okay? And then I also have ways that you can actually give love offerings and support in that way. You can hit up my CashApp, and preferably, because CashApp was acting funny with my money, you could hit up my PayPal or just buy me a coffee. And if financial means do not allow for that, then you can always like, share, subscribe, and comment, because all of those things help the algorithms so that these videos can get out to more people, to help the collective in protecting themselves and making the right decisions when it comes to, their divine unions, okay? And like, I got all kind of other videos on here as well. So if you're into fit tips or you have babies, I have the Indigenous children's Storytime, right? And educational videos for the babies. So there's a plethora of different videos if these type of videos are not necessarily your forte, but if you made it this far, I would think that you probably like these types of videos. So anyways, yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Don't fall for these karmics. Make sure that you are, doing the work and the healing that you need to do so that you can be, ready to actually, continue the healing. That there is going to be things that come up within the relationship once you do find your divine union. And so do as much as you can prior to, actually uniting into that union so that you are ready for that union. Okay. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful day, and don't let these haters get you down. Okay. And, because we keeping it high vibes over here. That's the main thing that they want to do, is become not only just energy vampires. These are literal the zombie apocalypse, okay? And they are literally trying to like bite you like a zombie, feed off of your energy, and turn you into one of them. They want to turn you demonic. They want to turn you into, a succubus, incubus. They want to turn you into whatever, demonic, evil wickedness that they are. That's what they want to do. The goal is to get you angry. The goal is to get you like them, I'm gonna do another video. I had a conversation with this young man who's like really into physics and stuff like that, and we were talking about, you know, free radicals and all this kind of things that like definitely correlate to what I'm speaking about right now. And I wish I would have just recorded the conversation and did the video right then and there, because it was like when I'm just having regular casual conversations, I'll be going in. And so yeah, so I might do a lot more of those casual conversations, because they go hard. I'll be in the zone, and definitely spirit is flowing. Okay, so anyways, I'm not gonna, as they say, run it up, so I'm gonna end this video here. Peace.